So you asked me where this drive for entrepreneurship comes from, and I was just referencing that I have to go all the way back to where I was born and raised to answer that question, which is Iran. I was born there, lived there for the first 10 years of my life. That comes with its own challenges, by the way. That is a whole podcast we could get into, just the challenges of growing up there and everything that comes with day-to-day life. Yeah, and then moved over here to the western side of the world and saw all the opportunities, the abundance of opportunities that we have here. And that led me to wanting to create a life for myself that's meaningful. I wanted to do more with all the opportunities that I was given, and which led me into looking at business, which led me into self-education, investing a lot in myself, deciding just based on, you were referring to this earlier actually before we got recording, it's nature and nurture. I think it's both. It's upbringing, circumstance, luck. Pure luck is a part of it. And then it's nurture too. You know, your natural inclinations, just all the things that are within your natural circle of competence. So after looking at both, I wanted to go the direction of sales, direction of business, which is why I even got started on this path. The definition of risk for somebody who is an immigrant who came from a different part of the world is completely different, because the risk that they took and, my family as well to even get here are far greater than the risks you would face in business or whatever else it might be. Although both are important in their own rights, your definition of risk changes. Also, just your bandwidth for handling challenges, handling pressure, all of that changes as well, which is always why I have this behind me and I reference it all the time. Only when this conversation comes up, only when the immigrant mentality or sort of what are some of the traits that define me come up, I always reference this here. The black says pressure, the red says pressure is a privilege. And I look at it that way. I honestly was lucky to be born and raised different part of the world where it was way more difficult, where it was way more challenging, because now I have a drive and a fuel inside me that I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to be honest. Somebody who's born here can never have. It's not possible. You can't compete with me. Not you, somebody who's born here. And I know you were too, so technically it is. But, there are obviously individuals like yourself. You seem very driven. You're obviously in business, podcasting, all that. But the average person is just not going to compete with that type of drive, because it comes from a real place of pressure that formed that drive, that fire, right? So to me, it is a privilege. Like, it's an opportunity. And I tell everybody, if you don't have pressure in your life, manufacture it. Create pressure in your life. Actually do it yourself. Fabricate that pressure, because even fabricated pressure is better than a life of just complacency and comfort. So that's a huge one. Just wanted to touch on the immigrant mentality part.